Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Well, that didn't work out. It was supposed to play from the beginning of Ginger Avenger. I thought it would be nice to open with that, but it didn't work out. Um, but it's okay. Well, happy Father's Day. I guess it's Father's Day in the UK as well as in the US, right? Um, the world's worst dad posted something for Father's Day. So I guess it is for both. Mary H., thank you so much for being first. Remember, we'll only be here for about an hour. Hello to Church Nellie, Elaine Parker, um, Jennifer Edwards, Pamela Vickers Tuttle, and everybody else. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? Nope, didn't mean to do that. I want to take my face away. There we go. All right, here we go. So again, happy Father's Day. Uh, well, I tell you, some news just kind of poured out here and there, didn't it? Like, for instance, it's Father's Day. One of the squaddies posted this on the Twitter, and I kind of made it fill up the screen, but it's only supposed to be like a little narrow slice, but I like it. Father's Day, Prince Harry, Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet. Yes, the two princes and the two princesses in the household. Okay, so here are some images from the video that the Duchess of Sussex posted on Instagram. Why don't we have a look at it, shall we? Wait, is that here? Yes, it is. There we go. Okay, of course, I had to substitute the music per copyright, but anyway, you got the idea. I mean, take a look there. Some very nice images. Now, the special effects used to give it that kind of it's not sepia tone, at least I don't think that's what you would call it, but very artsy. Very, very artsy. And look who's wearing a pretty dress. That is Lilibet. And of course, you may recognize that hat. I believe the hat was a gift when the Sussexes went to, was it Australia? Or did that come from South Africa? I don't recall. Kavan Slim says, I like how Harry, Meghan, and the kids walk around barefoot on their property. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, I think that is very, very sweet and wholesome that they can enjoy being barefoot on their property. Yeah, let's see. There we go. That is a very bohemian way to live, I think. It's like being at one with the earth. Now, see, I didn't think the kids ever had a chance to see um, their step grandmother. I didn't think they had a chance to see their step grandmother, but apparently that must have been over in the UK, I guess. I don't know. Um, Listen to me being shady. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, remember, whenever the Queen Consort travels, is if they're playing the national anthem or God Save the King, it's definitely not for her. She has her own theme music. You may have heard it if you've ever gone to the races. It goes. Yeah. Um, anyway, I think we might finish in an hour. We'll see how it goes. Aspire with Emma. Now, I think is it Grady or Greedy? Grady? I don't know how to say her name. I don't know how you say it. Or is it Grade? Well, anyway, I'm just going to say Emma until I sort that out. But anyway, I'd never heard of her before. But apparently, she's very well known. And I've seen some of the guests that she's had on her show and or podcast, and it seems like a who's who of who's really cool, who's a great guest. I mean, I've seen Dolly Parton and just all kind of really interesting people. So I'm just like, I feel bad because I don't know this person. Well, anyway, she said save the date because she is going to host one of the most famous women in the world, the most popular royal woman of them all. Let me see. I'll let you hear. Let me see. Is that the intro there? Oh no. Okay. I'll let you hear how she worded it, and well, you can see it for yourself. But her name is Emma, and unfortunately, I don't know who she is, but I'm gonna learn. Okay, are you ready? Hey, what up, Six? No.
Tuesday's guest is a big one, a woman that the world seems to be completely fascinated with. And at the same time, she's a first-time founder with a serious focus on building a business that is rooted in intention and integrity. When I tell you that you won't want to miss this episode, I mean it. Set your alarms for Tuesday.
Yes, that's what she said. Set your alarms for Tuesday. You won't want to miss it. Okay. There you heard it from her mouth. And so I just took a look on the Wikipedia. I'm kind of old fashioned. I still look at Wikipedia. And it says Emma Finlay G is a British businesswoman, entrepreneur, and fashion designer. She is recognized for her business ventures involving members of the Kardashian family and serves as the CEO and co founder of the denim company, Good American, a founding partner of Skims, and co founder of Safely. So I'm going to learn. I will be expert about Emma by this time Tuesday. So I'm going to make sure I do that. But yeah, I'm very happy that Meghan is going to have another appearance coming up here. I was kind of going into withdrawal, but I feel better now, especially since we missed out on the gala at the Natural History Museum. So, well, anyway, I can't wait. No wonder Meghan has been kind of quiet the past few days, but I tell you what, don't forget, we still have products coming out this month. Meghan promised. And what's the date? The 15th? Yeah, so we still got some products coming. I cannot wait. Let's see. Tonight, the Sussex squad finances go under the microscope, and Meghan and Harry, where did the money go? Now, you know what? Just like the Sussex squad, the Sussex squad, an exploration of the financial affairs of Harry Windsor and Meghan Markle. Okay, they're messing up with the names, aren't they? Plus a shameful and seldom told story from the aftermath of the Second World War, whatever that is. Anyway, that's on Channel 5 tonight. That's the UK Channel 5. The Sussex squad may have largely disappeared from British public life. They're calling them the Sussex squad. How bizarre. But they still seem to arouse tabloid fury. Hence the unnecessary documentary on the exile couple's financial affairs. The sources of their wealth don't seem too mysterious. Inheritance, a massive Netflix deal, and a payout from publishers representing the Sun newspaper won't have hurt. But clearly, it's time for another stir of the pot. The Sussexes have investments, and they just don't know. They just don't know. There's a few things that they have not mentioned, and I don't know, maybe they'll mention them in whatever is coming up. But they only tell half the story. They always tell half it, and they don't even know all of the facts from the half that they do tell. And the more time that goes by, the more they are going to be poking and prodding, trying to figure out how much money they have. It is somewhere north of a lot, very far north of a lot. It is in the stratosphere. If they did not have plenty, and I do mean plenty, I don't think they would have been as generous with their donations, but obviously they can afford it. So I wouldn't worry about it, but they are. But the use of Sussex Squad? Why are they using Sussex Squad? And I'm just like, I'm rich? We're all rich? When did that happen? Yes, they're not tax funded. They're not the tax funded royals. It's the other ones. I don't know what that means. Why do they care about the irrelevant couple? Yeah, because after all, they have managed to fudge the numbers with their emotional support polls to make sure that the Sussexes are at the very bottom of the poll. Anybody who believes that needs to get their head examined. But whatever. They're not running for president. They're not running for prime minister. They're not even over there. Meghan is not welcome. Harry's practically not welcome. So don't expect them to spend much time over there. these people have abandoned their senses. They really have. They spend too much time worrying about things that is none of their flipping business. So I don't know what that means. I hope that someone will share on the social media some bits and pieces of it, because I am curious, but not curious enough to try to find Channel 5 myself. But I definitely want to know um, what's it all about. So anyway, this came from, oh gosh, what is it? They posted this in the Guardian, but it's Channel 5 that's telling the story. So I'm curious. I want to know what the deal is. Okay, so Prince Harry was asked. Oh, by the way, thank you, Lex, for the super chat. Prince Harry was asked by the German defense minister to deliver a special message to veterans on the country's first ever Veterans Day being held today, June the 15th. Isn't that something? Why do I feel like Harry had something to do with them having a Veterans Day? Why do I think that the Invictus Games is partially responsible for that?
Guten Tag, Deutschland. It is a profound privilege to be asked by your defence minister to deliver a message to you on this sacred Veterans Day. My last visit to your remarkable country was to Dusseldorf 2 years ago for the Invictus Games, and it remains etched in my memory. The warmth, the enthusiasm, and the unwavering support shown by the German people for our global community of wounded service personnel was truly humbling. You certainly delivered on your promise to create a home for respect. That spirit of camaraderie, forged on the sports field, mirrors the unbreakable bond that connects veterans of all nations. We understand each other, regardless of flag or uniform, bound by shared experiences and an enduring commitment to service. Veterans are more than warriors. They are leaders. Living testaments to resilience and moral courage, they understand that loyalty must never lie with power alone, but with the people and with truth. As someone who has worn the uniform and stood shoulder to shoulder with brothers and sisters in arms from across the world, including many of you, I know that the weight of service is not carried lightly. We serve not to glorify war, but to protect peace. Not to follow a single voice, but to uphold a collective oath. To country, to people, and to the principles that bind us together as free nations. Germany has shown the world how memory, accountability, and unity can be turned into strength. In these turbulent times, your role in safeguarding peace and stability in Europe has never been more critical. To the brave men and women of the Bundeswehr, a heartfelt thank you for your steadfast service to your country, to your people, and to one another. Today is also a celebration of you, the values you stand for, the oath you took, and the great country you stand to protect. Today, let us renew our commitment, together, to protect the freedoms that define who we are, to serve each other for peace, for dignity, and for the enduring promise of democracy. Vielen Dank und einen schönen Tag.
Well, vielen Dank to you too, Prince Harry, and danke schön. Okay. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. Where am I at here? I'm back over here. There we go. Well, if I recall, it is going to be some kind of a year-round thing, right? I know they said that it won't end with the Invictus Games leaving, but yeah, I thought it was okay. Maybe it's yearly, and that there would be some kind of, well, you know what? I should just say this: there are year-round competitions with Invictus, because on Twitter they're constantly promoting events, or not promoting, but they're sharing photos from events like a bike-a-thon, or if I'm right about that. And I don't usually share those because, well, they're but they're there. I know that they do other stuff, and not just in Germany, but any place where they've had Invictus, they kind of lean into it for other events. So, but yeah, I think it is something yearly, and that I wish I knew. I wish I knew, but unfortunately, my memory does not serve me right now. But yeah, it definitely left an impression, and I would not be surprised if the Veterans Day somehow had something to do with Invictus. I just wouldn't be surprised. As well, it should. Okay. Hmm. Let's see here. Continue with. Anyway, Harry looks great. He's wearing his medals as he usually does whenever he's doing one of these videos from his garden. So very cool, Harry. Framed by those beautiful pillars of limestone. Or is that Travertine marble? Anyway, this is what they posted on the Two Houses of Windsor's website. To all the dads everywhere, wish you a happy Father's Day today. That is from Charles and Godzilla. And over here, this is what they posted on Kensington Royal. Well, it is what it is. And next, Duchess Sophie's blunt response when asked about Meghan Markle. They are still trying to big her up. I repeat, they are still trying to big her up. What was the name of that movie with Anne Bancroft? I think it was called Miracle Worker. They would need a miracle worker to make this very small person larger than life. Sophie, to a cutting remark when asked about stepping in for Meghan and Harry after they stepped down as senior royals. According to royal expert Katie Nichols, Sophie says, "What did people think we were going to do? I'm sorry, what did people think we were doing beforehand? What did people think we were doing beforehand?" And that was in reference to some question about filling in for Harry and Meghan. And I'm just like, that's all you got? I thought it was something, it has no punch. It basically means nothing. It was, if it was even said, the whole point is to try to make Sophie, and I guess her husband, to try to get both of them to fill in for the Sussexes. I don't know why they think this is going to work. She has been a secret weapon for the royal family, for King Charles, even for Queen Elizabeth. She's been a secret weapon for so long. I think they forgot to load it. And they just keep trying. They have had articles. I haven't shared most of them with you, but they have had articles where they do these comparisons. And then this particular article, they even said that she was a career person just like Meghan, and that she earned her own money just like Meghan. What they failed to mention was anything about her pouring her heart out to a fake sheik, where she tore everybody in the family to shreds, made fun of the prime minister and his wife. They didn't mention that. Bet you Meghan didn't do that. Or how about the parties they used to have at the PR firm that she used to work? The topless parties, the ones with all of the baking soda scattered about the table. They made no mention of that. None of the scandals, either before or after joining the family. And yet, this woman who comes into the royal family, what was it, millions of dollars in debt? A PR firm that was practically out of business? I mean, did she just get married so she could hype up her PR firm? Was that the point of it? Hoping to get some business? It was so bad and so embarrassing. They finally ordered her to stop working, cease and desist, let it go. And by the way, here's a large palatial country home for you and Edwina. Now, please stay quiet. Do not speak. And she's been making those sad, frowning faces ever since. Oh, yeah. Never complain, never explain. No palace leaks. Thank you, legs. So, anyway, some of the comments for the article. No one's interested in Sophie, so stop trying to make it happen. Meghan is tons more interesting in every way. A loss to us, she has gone. Or how about this one? There you go again, Daily Mail. You dig up all the old stories, which are already so irrelevant. What's your agenda? This daily crusade against Meghan. Yes, she was probably a mistake, but she's long gone. Why go on and on and on? Just let it be. Don't think the royal family ever give her a thought anymore. So why should you? They have moved on. And you should too. I love these. I picked all my favorite ones. Duchess Sophie was just jealous of Princess Meghan's title and flawless skin. Sophie sums up the royal family then: closed-minded, overprivileged, and unable to open up to new ideas to save their existence. Meghan is well out of this decaying institution that every new generation no longer cares about. Ouch. Ouch. I have it on good authority that Her Royal Highness Princess Meghan was always the late Queen's favorite. Her arrival forced the royals to raise their game, being a dynamic woman of diversity, unafraid to fight for social justice, was unpopular. Sophie dressed and wanted to be like Diana. Her husband left the army after 4 months, yet has a uniform and a mountain of medals. Meghan is a professional businesswoman. We are all Team Meghan. I love these people. Let me see. I think it's very romantic for a woman to trust only her husband. True love is beautiful, and I think you girls have a lot to learn from dear Princess Meghan in order to make your marriage work. If I meet any girl that loves me and makes me feel important the same way Meghan does to Harry, I would marry her completely and forever. I believe Princess Meghan is an open book herself. She is here to teach us all how to live and how to love. I love this. What a princess. What a gracious woman. The whole UK miss her dearly because she and dear Prince Harry used to make to stimulate the whole place and make it shine. Hope they come back home one day because, to be honest, it feels lonely and dreary without them. There's no doubt about it. The royal family are basically racist. When Harry told them about Meghan, I'll bet they couldn't believe it. That's why Kate made her racist remarks. Allegedly. Isn't this juicy? I just love it. She was a 35-year-old woman who was earning her own money and had her own house, aka more independence than any woman in the family. Wouldn't anyone else be disinterested if someone tried to teach her the ropes? Sophie gave her own career. You'd think she'd have a bit of empathy. Now, the whole premise of that comment that Sophie made was about Sophie showing Meghan the ropes and Meghan being disinterested. I don't know that it was ever said that Sophie was supposed to show her the ropes. If I recall, the first time I heard show Meghan the ropes, it was supposed to be Kate. And then later on, it was supposed to be Sophie. But officially, I don't think anybody's heard anything about anyone showing Meghan the ropes. So we do not know what type of relationship Meghan had with Sophie. She was not even important enough to be mentioned in the book. Hell, Harry probably forgot she was part of the family. And of course, in that latest poll, Sophie is supposedly hovering around 51% popularity, right? I would be impressed if 51% of the British public even knew who she was or knew who her husband was. I think some people have only just realized as of maybe Prince Philip's funeral, or was it the Queen's funeral, that people actually realized that the Queen had 4 children. People stopped counting after Andrew. Seriously, people stopped counting after Andrew. Nobody was checking for Edwina. I don't think most people in the British public, most subjects of the king, even knows that Edward is one of Queen Elizabeth's children. And don't even ask an American who is Prince Edward. They don't know. Anyway, this is kind of like an obsession of mine. What is the next thing that they're going to do to try to big up Sophie Wessex? What is the next thing? They have tried and tried and tried for 5 years to make her more relevant. And around, I don't know, every 3 months, there's an article saying that either she or she and her husband are going to replace Harry and Meghan. Now, the real agitator for this is Richard, what's his name? Richard Fitzwilliams. He's always droning on about how important she is to the institution. I even heard a couple of the royal reporters, oh gosh, was it, I forget their name. Anyway, it was 2 of them talking into microphones for a podcast. And they were saying how it's too bad Sophie's not getting more attention and that the press never follows her any place she goes. And that needs to change. I just don't think anybody's that desperate yet. There is nothing to change. She's boring. um, unassuming. She has not much of a personality at all. If you think that Will and Kate are boring, you haven't been paying attention to Sophie. And why would you? Because she's boring. So, anyway, they keep trying. They keep trying. Uh, and there is this another collage of photos that I love. This also came, I think it was Zandy Sussex that posted these. Yes, I think it was Zandy Sussex. Okay, so at this point, I am going to go. You know, I do my roundup. I didn't mention it in the title, but I'm going to do a very quick roundup of the past week. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but so if you guys have been watching the past week, you'll find that there's nothing new under the sun. Meaning that if it's your bedtime, I would say good night. Or if you're starting your day, I would say good morning, guten Tag, or guten Morgen. Yeah, guten Morgen. I'd say guten Morgen. Otherwise, I think you've seen everything from the past week. So anyway, let's get cracking, shall we? There we go. Troop in the color. That was yesterday. Also, happy Pride Month. Internationally, it is Pride Month. And every weekend, somewhere in the country, several cities here in the United States will have their Pride Day. But yeah, it is Pride Day all over the world. There's Queen Elizabeth representing the colors of the Pride flag. Kavan Smith says these people will never understand that nobody in that family has the natural charisma and chemistry Harry and Meghan has. Yeah, and thank you for the super chat. They keep trying to manufacture, to duplicate and replicate that Sussex magic for William and Kitty. And I think that they have a goal that every time they have an outing, that they are going to face one another, or at least Kate will look at William and they will declare that is some kind of romantic gesture. So it's either the glance, the pat on the bottom, or both. Glance, pat on the bottom, or both. And that will definitely become a headline in all of the papers. Yep, they do that every time. There was a glance at the parade field for the Troop in the Colors, and there was a glance on the balcony, just like there was a glance last year on the balcony, where they declare that they have this hot and sizzling moment for one another, as if. Let me see. Madam F says, call Sophie Fetch. She's not happening. Thank you, Madam F. Poor Sophie, who will spend the rest of her life walking in Kate Middleton's footsteps. I tell you, anybody whose life is downwind from Kate have to ask the question, what have I been doing wrong? Okay, and we listened to her yesterday as she was speaking about Brooke Shields. I don't think I'll play that one, but I'm just going to keep going here. The Royal Air Force, get it? The heirs to the throne, Air Force. William is on horse back there on the left. Someone asked me where was Edward yesterday. He also was on horseback along with Afro Annie. Now, you know, I just mentioned that adoring glance that she gives William. I don't think that that was the glance. She did do a turn and smile to him, But then at some point, this happened. I tell you, if looks could, you know the rest of that. That was not the adoring glance. What's hard to understand, and by the way, I do not suspect this photo was manipulated at all because I actually saw the video where at a certain point she kind of cut her eyes over in that direction. I tell you guys, there's something going on there, but they have tried to gaslight people into believing that their life is just one big ongoing romantic comedy. As someone said, and I believe this to be true, that the polls that they show us in the tabloid media, the YouGov polls, those doctored, manipulated polls, they very likely have their own internal polls that have been done. And somewhere they learned that the public wants them to be more seemingly romantic with one another. They want their relationship to be a solid one, just like Harry and Meghan. The camera does not lie because for every one of those adoring glances, you all know I got a ton of receipts that says otherwise. And not just photos, but videos as well, where their relationship is anything but close. And you know what? I wouldn't even care about how they are with each other, but for the fact that they keep coming for the Sussexes. Wow, they're so close. They're so magnetic. It's hard to separate them, isn't it? Get a room. Get a room. Get a room. I don't know why, but just get a room. I just feel like I have to say that. Get a room. We know you don't need it. Nothing's going to happen if you do, but get a room. Or do like you usually do. Get 2 rooms. One for you and one for you. Because it ain't happening. They get on like what is it? Oil and vinegar or grease or whatever. Oil and water, something like that. Leg says Kate always has that hissing goose look. Hissing goose. No shade. Thank you, Legs. That hissing goose look. I love it. Esmerella Dillon, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, there's the other glance. Okay, but I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. I think that is a great look for Kate. I'm not mad at her. It is not very practical for most women. It definitely is screaming Easter morning or the horse races. Not anything that would be very practical. But you know what else? I'm just glad that she's not showing her knees. I think that given the role that she has, flashing her legs is in bad taste. Queen Mary of Denmark, who was Princess Mary of Denmark, she, is a very well-educated, well-rounded person, and she never resorted to doing those types of stunts for attention. But Kate, like I say, given her position and at this point, given her age, she needs to stop doing that. Yes, they should. They should. And no shade, no shade, because it does her a disservice. Because one day she, looks like almost like a characterization of herself, and then when the filters are taken away, well, you know. And of course, wearing another one of those garish gowns. Um, there is Sophie. Poor down in the mouth Sophie. And you know what? Where is Edward? I don't think he came out on the balcony at all. I know he was in the car with her arriving to Buckingham Palace. I saw him mounted on the horse, but William came out on the balcony, but I never did see. Oh, there he is. There he is. I guess he was the last one out, but there he is, right next to her there. So yeah, he was there. Okay. I don't know what that was about. I'm going to leave it alone. Those kids got a rough time of it, so I'm not going to bother with them. Again, love the coat dress. One of my favorite looks for her. And of course, Air Dolomite. I didn't know that there was an Air Dolomite. What country is that from, by the way? Some people said that the outfit channels their uniforms, and I thought it was such a good match. I actually lined Kate up with the rest of the girls, and I don't know if you know it, but Kate is the one on the far right side. That's actually Kate right there. But again, you can barely tell her from the rest of the girls. The flyover at Buckingham Palace, the crowd was not that large at all. You can see those huge empty spaces. Usually, they're all the way up to the gate. And they had no really big panoramic views of the area. You see there? This is what was on television, but usually they would show down the mall, like right here, you can see all the way down to the end back in 2022. But for some reason, there are no camera angles like that. I've seen it all for 2025. Now, of course, we know that Queen Elizabeth was still alive in 2022. She passed away in September, and this, of course, was in June. Now, the area with the, you can see that they have flowers in the grass there. Nobody ever stands inside of that. So even though it's hard to see it on the bottom photo, but that area is not for the crowd. So even with the bottom photo, just so you know, it's at a different angle, but there's no one standing in the grass there either. And of course, another one of Kate's airline-inspired coat dresses. This one, I've actually loved the cut of that one too. That's very unique. Qatar. If she's not working for Dolomite Tea, she's working for Qatar. And even William, 3 snaps, wants to get involved with the whole I work for the airline look. And of course, the world's oldest flight attendant, who has started her career with the Spirit of St. Louis Airlines. This is the unknown passenger that crossed the Atlantic Ocean with Charles Lindbergh. She received no credit for it. But as you can see, she has the old-fashioned Spirit of St. Louis pinned to her lapel, rather than a modern aircraft like, the typical air flight attendants. But yes, that is the world's oldest flight attendant. She started her career. It was even said that she inspired that dance, the Lindy Hop. The way the dance was created was one of the unsuspecting passengers who didn't see her boarding the plane, well, she leaned in to ask him if they wanted something to drink, and they hopped right out of their seat. And that is how the dance Lindy Hop. That is how the dance Lindy Hop was born. It happened when the world's oldest flight attendant leaned in and asked them if they wanted something to drink. And they hopped right out of their seat. And, well, one of the other passengers happened to happened to see that, and thus was born the Lindy Hop. That's a true story, kind of. And I was thinking that maybe that flight attendant was Amelia Earhart, but so far I have not been able to substantiate that. So, and of course, another flight attendant in the family, air hostess Carol Middleton. That is where she learned to enjoy alcoholic beverages. It comes from her job. Somebody come get your auntie. Y'all, we do too much sometimes, don't we? We do way too much. Come get your auntie. I wonder if she's related. Do you guys remember the guy that that went to the oh, was it Easter? Let me see here. Let me see if I can find that guy that had that Easter outfit on. Right here. If somebody would come get their auntie, I will come and get somebody's uncle. I don't know who uncle that is. I don't know who uncle thought that was a good idea. I don't know whose uncle is still carrying that old Motorola flip phone in 2025. Whose uncle is still carrying that Motorola flip phone in 2025? It is time to put that phone away. Get a new phone. Get an Android or iPhone. But it is time to retire that old analog Motorola flip phone. Winsome Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here. But yes, somebody come get your uncle. He's embarrassing us. Still doing too much. This is 100 years ago, Trooping the Colors. And speaking of which, they were out there en masse. As you can see, Godzilla and Charles waved to him. Kate and the kids, they just looked. But look at there. You know what? They did wave to the kids, though. I could see some of the people wave to the children. That was nice. I'm sure that they didn't, boo or yell when they went by. I think they were being on their best behavior there. And of course, there is Sophie and Timothy Lawrence, Afro Annie's husband. They shared a carriage. As you know, Edwina and Afro Annie were on horseback. And of course, Afro Annie wore her usual Napoleon outfit. A great protest at Trooping the Colors. Sadly, the Metropolitan Police have serious questions to answer about attempts to disrupt peaceful protests, but we persevered and made our mark. Speaking of making our mark, check out that beautiful dress. See there? All it needs is a good ironing. And I love that Van Cleef and Arpels bracelet. Again, that dress needs a good ironing. Smug, that's how I described him. If you open up a encyclopedia and you look up smug, you will find David Beckham with that smug look on his face. And those kids finally got some proper recognition. They don't get their titles back, but they did receive the Grand Cross from King Frederick of Denmark. But yeah, that is the Felix and his brother, what's his name? Unfortunately, Nikolai, they lost their titles because Queen, what's her name, took the titles before she uh, gave up the crown. I still think that was a crappy thing to do. And Trump's lonely parade, that parade only had a few thousand people, they said, or was it 900? Anyway, it was not a lot of people at the parade. Um, Fortunately, he did not dress up in his military uniform, and he did not actually ride his tank in the parade, although he did use it for rehearsal. It did rain, but not much. And of course, here is Trump channeling Kim Jong-un. As you know, he has affection for dictators. Don't know why. Someone said this photo would have been perfect if it wasn't for that smug David Beckham. And somebody else said, is this better? Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, they got him up out of there. I didn't know it was that easy to get rid of him. And take a look at this. You know how they say 50 is the new 30? It's very interesting how different certain ages are nowadays in comparison to yesteryear. See, people age very different nowadays. Lots of surgery, lots of moisturizer. Aging is very different now. Okay, wow, we got through that pretty good. Let's try to keep that momentum going. So that was the 14th. Let's do a review of the 13th. Sorry if that startles you, but this is the man who survived that plane crash in India. And of course, you can see how racist some people were, challenging the idea that this is what a British subject of the king, that this is what they look like. If he's not white, he cannot be British, according to these comments. You mean Indian survived crash, right? Or what does it say here? I think we can use the term British loosely. Or how about this one? He's about as British as I am Jamaican. Wow, that is pretty tacky of those people. The king has personally requested changes to his birthday parade. Oh yeah, that's right. They wore black armbands and had a moment of silence, I believe, over at the parade grounds. And I won't play this one, but she did talk about the Cinta Ballet. Unfortunately, we had to temporarily disable the comments on this platform due to the harmful effects of recent targeted online harassment. Well, Sophie's calling it, and I do mean that one that's running the Cinta Ballet. That's Sophie. She's saying that it was online harassment, but the thing is, when people were saying nasty things about Harry, then they didn't know how to turn the comments off. But here they had to disable the comments because most of the comments were focused on the chairperson for Cinta Ballet for obvious reasons. So they turned off the comments. And this is the leadership team. And look at there. They're using a third party platform to raise money for Sentabale because most of the former donors do not feel inclined to share money with a charity where it has been alleged that hundreds of thousands of dollars have been misappropriated hiring what do they call them? Oh gosh, what do they call those people? Not analysts, but anyway, the money was paid to get ideas from people. Funny, I can't think of the word right now. But yeah, they are not inclined to give money to the agency right now. So Sentabale is in a downward spiral. And the people that are consultants, thank you. The people that are suffering the worst, of course, are the children, some of which, of course, do not have HIV or AIDS, but they have been orphaned because of the disease. So there's so much service that was provided based on the AIDS epidemic. And of course, anyway, I don't want to go into the whole thing again, but Dr. Sophie, or whatever she is, she ruined it. She took something that wasn't broke and she broke it. And that's the board right there. It was a board of, what was it, 4 people? 5 people? Well, now it's just a little crony and someone that works for William, one of Prince William's people. And there are some people who say that this may have been orchestrated, allegedly, from Kensington Palace. It was a crowning achievement of Harry's for over 20 years. Just could not have that, could we? Well, anyway, Feminagra made the case why she needs to step down, because everything that she has touched has been destroyed. The BBBA, as Legs has pointed out, thanks to her, it was in the red, and then she ran off. She left. And then she had her own little agency online. Nobody knows what it was for or what kind of service they provided. It was a bunch of fancy words and some people that she knows, people who miraculously also became consultants for, guess what? Sentabale. What is that term that they use? Racketeering. I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but I'm just saying when I think about this, that's what comes to mind. Racketeering. She better be glad that she's not in the United States, because anytime you do something deceptive using the United States Post Office, well, there's 2 charges that comes out of that: mail fraud and racketeering. I'm not saying that she's guilty of either, but I suspect that if she was in these United States of America, she may have gotten in trouble for mail fraud and racketeering. It's a racket. But everyone is innocent until proven Sophie. I mean guilty. Yeah, guilty. That's what I meant to say. Guilty. Oh, well, pray for Sentabale. Harry and Meghan hired some new staff people. In spite of what they're trying to make people believe that something terrible has happened at the Archwell, the thing is, the Sussexes are their business is getting bigger, and their outreach is becoming larger as well. And so they hired a new team. And this time it's not individuals, but it's actually an agency. And I believe all the people are from the agency. So if I understand it that way, if I'm correct, they just moved the old team out and put in a team that has worked. Anyway, it is for the benefit of their business. That's it. I'm sure it was nothing personal. And because of the non disclosure agreements, we'll never know the difference. And that's the way it ought to be. Okay. And he's gone too. Let me see. Duke and Duchess make big changes. Yep. They're gone, gone, gone. They have a new team. End of. Oh, my goodness. Look who's Rock's youthful look at Call Me Izzy Broadway opening. She's giving you a youthful look. And of course, I thought the same thing. Tall, dark hair. Kate Middleton? Nope, that's Brooke Shields. That is Brooke Shields. That troublemaker, Brooke Shields, who declared she could not stand Meghan being precious. So she had to interrupt, using all this dramatic body language to tell India Hicks, the coat thief, that she had to interrupt Meghan because she was being too precious. Only for us to look at the video from the event, and we find out that Meghan spoke for less than a minute. And when she was done, the crowd tried to applaud. But of course, old Big Mouth wouldn't hear of it. She tried to interject before the crowd could applaud Meghan's comment. So she stopped talking for just a second, and then she gave the worst one-liner in her whole career. And anyway, it was a disaster. Just too precious. Oh, let's see where we are. Let's see where we are. I'm going to take a look right now. Okay, buffering. 49.2 million. Yeah, so there are 49.2 million views on the Instagram baby mama video. Okay, next, I think we're making good timing here. Ugh. Yeah, Henry VIII said, the timing is no coincidence. Here is the Sussex distraction, so you don't notice that Charles isn't on a horse at the Trooping the Colors, and Will and Kate can't stand each other. So to distract from that, let's make up a story about William stripping Harry, Meghan, and the children of their titles when he becomes, God help us, king. One of the squatties created this comparison. I think it's really cool. Look who was in Scotland. They went to a wedding. Serena and Alexis, him. Ohanian, there we go. Alexis Ohanian. They went to a wedding. Oh, I wish I had time to play that video again, but if you look at the other day, I played that video, and I'm sure you guys seen it before, where Jeremy Vines was complaining about how his online stalker may cause people to hate him and even want to harm him. Essentially, it was the ultimate hypocrisy, considering how much hate has been fueled by his talk show. It's almost as though he can't hear his own voice. Ah, there's that bootlicking Sophie Wessex trying to get in good with Charles, reminding him that, listen, don't forget, I'm your secret weapon, remember? Poor Sophie. We talked about Pippa. Apparently, Pippa and her husband may possibly be broke. He may not have as much money as they pretend. I always thought it was his father who was rich. I didn't think he had any money. And what is this one? Okay. There's Pippa flexing, and there's Pippa flexing. See there? Or a Pippa lookalike. Okay. We're almost done with this one. Racist comments were made on social media because of this. Sadiq Khan, who is Muslim, happens to be the mayor of London, and there are some people who just can't take it. They don't like the fact that he is very successful and the mayor of London, and well, anyway, you know how it is. Wow, okay, that was the 13th. Let's keep this moving. The 12th. Remember, this is the Sunday roundup where we round up the week. Oh, that was cool. You know, I almost forgot about this picture. Air India, that when it first happened, we talked about it that night. Here are some of the people: captain, first officer, a whole family there. And of course, Jamie and Fiongo, Canadian doctor, dentist. Let me see. Another doctor, another family. Very sad. Well, I stand corrected. The other day, someone told me that they heard the flaps of the aircraft may have been in the wrong position. And I was looking at something else online and I thought, I think it was a loss of power. But I just want you to know, whoever that said that, you were right. So far, they have said it was the flaps were in the worst possible position, and that's what brought the plane down. There you see a red circle on the left. That is where the survivor was seated. On the right is where his brother was seated. The survivor, of course, survived, and his brother did not, which just goes to show being in the rear of the plane is not a guarantee that you will survive. I don't even know if it increases the chance of survival, but some people swear by it. I don't know what the statistics are. And here is a journalist who writes about airlines, and he assures us that he's flown Air India on more than 20 occasions, and he said that they have a very good safety record. So, still the safest way to travel. Okay. Oh yeah, Travelers. I don't really have much to share about that. Harry's out doing his thing. Yes, we got to listen to this one. Now, this one, we have to listen to it because he was so good. He was so good. So this one, I'm going to insist that we listen to this one. Okay, I got to go back for that one because that was, it seemed like an eternity. Oh, maybe that's not the one. Oh, you know what? That's a different one.
differences. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? That's not the one I was thinking of. I think that one's coming up on another one. So let's keep it moving. She was good. Feminegra wrote an article about the moon bump misogynoir, why Black motherhood is always questioned. If you have not seen the article, or if you didn't watch the other day, take a screenshot of this headline and go to feminegra.com and find that article and read it. It was very good. Oh, see there, just the other day, I was talking about the way they were propping up Sophie. Meghan's an influencer. Sophie has real influence. Royal experts' damning verdict on Harry's wife, which is very condescending to say that, wasting her potential on jam and rosé while Duchess of Edinburgh visits war zone and champions women's rights. In other words, they're going to downplay Meghan's numerous contributions as a women's rights advocate. And so now that, anyway, I don't even have to tell you. This was just ridiculous, but they tried it anyway. They keep trying to big up Sophie. I don't care how many Black people she touched. She ain't ever going to be as impressive as our Duchess, ever. Dressing like Gumby or the Crackerjack Boy, she got that down to a science. Consoling the Queen Consort, she got that down to a science. Running over old ladies with her motorcade, an expert. Wearing wearing seat covers, nobody does it better. Nobody has worn a Volkswagen seat cover better than Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh. If you want to look like a lazy boy recliner and a Duchess all in one, talk to Sophie. She'll give you everything you need to know how to look like a Duchess and a lazy boy recliner all at the same time. Also, if you don't have the courage to go out one evening without your bra, talk to Sophie. She'll show you how to stuff them down in your waistband and then tie them up. See there? Yeah, she'll show you how to you just want to stuff them down in your waistband, and then you put a rope and you tie them, and then you go out, just like Sophie. Or if you want to walk in somebody's footsteps, somebody who's dumb as a box of rocks, Sophie can show you how to do that too. You just hold your head down, swallow your pride, and you walk. Thank you, Sophie. Or if you really want to embarrass yourself by glancing at I guess that's her niece. Yeah, you let the camera catch you looking sad while you looking at Kate basking in the glow of her higher rank. How embarrassing. Or you can keep cutting your eye at Meghan. Yeah, you wait until the Queen's funeral and then keep cutting your eye at her like you're going to do something. Don't get it twisted. Or if you're really attention seeking, Sophie will show you how to wear a hat just like Pharrell Williams. Or Sophie will show you how to scream at the help, just like right here where she's yelling at her royal protection officer. Now, was that before or after they ran over that old lady? I think this is the one before they hit the secretary. Or let me see here. Oh yeah, this is good right here. This is like a list of ways to show you how to ignore your pride, to completely mortgage your soul, and stay in that institution. Harry and Meghan might take a note. Um, Prince Edward bounced back from royal knockout, and Sophie's PR scandal with hard work, knuckling down, more like knuckling under, and getting on with his role without fanfare, experts say. Proof you can be welcome back into the fold. No, thank you. We had enough of the fold. Anyway, all of these articles written over the years declares that Sophie is the royal family's or Queen Elizabeth's or the firm's or William's or the Queen's secret weapon. That's what these articles say, that she's a secret weapon for the firm. They can count on her. And check this out. This lady was lucky enough to win a new honor from the royal family. It is called the Camilla. Yeah, she's a cobbler, I think. She makes shoes. And they called upon her services because only she had the patented process to create shoes for the Queen Consort. It wasn't easy given the rare and confusing dimensions of her hoof. On the right, you can see the medal. The front side has this gorgeous portrait of the Queen Consort. And then there's the shoes. See there? Very unusual cut. So they needed someone who could think outside of the box. Someone who's part blacksmith and part cobbler all at the same time. And then there's the backside of the medal. Depending on the lighting and the time of day, sometimes the Queen Consort's appearance changes. So in the morning, she looks more like National Velvet. And then at night, she looks more like Rin Tin Tin. So anyway, if you're talented and you provide some type of products for the institution, for the firm, for the royal family, you too might win one of those Camillas. Not my king. This is just reminding people to go to to go to the mall for the protest. So, not my king. Yeah, not my king. That's the brave men and women who somehow infiltrated Buckingham Palace only to expose their t-shirts, among other things. There's William, who said that he was going to spend his life creating peace in the Middle East, among other things. Well, right now there's a war going on. Thanks, Willie. There's Gummy. There's Gummy with that fleshy grin of hers. She got told off the other day. And anyway, I'm not going to go through those, but she got told off the other day on her own channel. They say Canadians are visiting the US less than ever. 40% of Canadian tourists, the number is 40% lower than it was in the past. And I say good for them. Wait until there is a regime change and then come back and see us. A little collage of Meghan. And on to the 12th. The 12th. Remember, we're doing the Sunday roundup. All right, the 12th is here. Wait, there's a 12. Oh. Huh. Did I just do that one? Wait a minute. I did that one. Am I supposed to be on a different day? Am I? I think I did that one already. Let me see. Yes, I did the 12th. Gosh, this is going fast. I'm on the 11th then. Oh, yes. Hot tea. The 11th. Hot tea. Gorgeous and green. If you say so. Let me see. Ahead of the women's. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. This Feminagra. Charles in the lead. What was this about? I forgot what this was. Oh, the work ethic, or the lack thereof, as far as Willie and Kitty is concerned. Yeah, if you notice, for whatever reason, when they created this chart, they still felt like it was necessary to put Will and Kate at the top. Kate, it's almost you would think that she was being celebrated for doing the most work. Well, to protect her ego, they decided to flip this chart upside down. Shouldn't the busiest person be at the top and the least working busy person, the least busiest, should be at the bottom? Anyway, Charles, who is said to have cancer, has had more work-related engagements than everyone, including Anne. Well, we know Anne was injured, so she hasn't been out as much as, but usually Anne would be at the top. So Charles, Anne, Edward, Godzilla, Sophie, the Duke of Gloucester, William, the Duchess of Gloucester, the Duke of Kent. They call him Shufflealong. You know, that's his nickname on Twitter. They call him Shufflealong. I'm not going to say why, but it has something to do with his current condition. I just thought it was funny. They call him Shufflealong. And then lastly, Kitty. Now here, the number of engagements, see, this is the right side up. I don't know why they did it the other way, but that's for 2023. I don't know. Oh, yes. Kate had this awkward fashion moment where she went to the museum and she and the host, they're wearing the same color. Oy vey. I don't know why they thought that was news, but I think it was just an excuse to talk about Kate. I thought, and let me find the video, when they said awkward, I thought it had something to do with Kate's, well, let me find it. Oh, it was so weird. I'm like, why is she doing that? Oh man, I'm not going to find that. Let me see. I don't want to give up just yet. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. This got weird. Check it out.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
Now, see, I have a theory. I think that Kate is on a budget. William is not really letting her spend as much money. And so some of her drawers are kind of old. And you know how the elastic gives out and, you know, you're walking around and your bloomers start to roll down? I think that's what happened is she's trying to figure out if her dainties have rolled down. You know what I'm saying? Because see, she's getting to that age where I guess she's not wearing, well, you know what she used to wear. I guess she's not wearing that anymore, but maybe she is. But whatever it is, I think that elastic band gave out and it probably rolled down on her. So, she's walking and all of a sudden, whoop, it just kind of rolls down. And so she got a little insecure and was just trying to discreetly see if I think she needs to like put a pin in it, like a safety pin. You just excuse yourself or she can go behind that screen right there, but she needs to excuse herself and then just kind of pull them up and then put that pin in them, pin them on the side or pin them to the waistband of your trousers. And then you keep it moving. You know how we used to do. But yeah, that means it's time to go shopping. What happens is sometimes when you're trying to get dressed, you be in a hurry and then you take your big foot and you accidentally drop it down on that waistband and it breaks the elastic. And then you know what I'm saying? Have you done that before? You trying to get dressed, you hopping around trying to get your foot through, and then next thing you know, you're being stepped on that elastic band and it pops. And so you don't realize how bad it is because you're in a hurry, you're trying to get out the house, right? And so she was, moving so fast, but by the time she got to the museum, she realized that band, the waistband, and kind of, rolled down. So all she got to do is just go and maybe put or take the stapler. If there's a stapler handy, you can go in the bathroom and take that stapler and just clink. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of clink and staple it so it won't keep rolling down your legs. So yeah. Anyway, it's an easy fix. She can go right behind that screen if she had to. And if you can't find a stapler, if you can't find a safety pin, just like take a paper clip and put a paper clip on it, and you'll be all right. And then depending depending on the severity and how much excess fabric it is, you could even do like a little knot. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of put a little knot. But it's just what you need to do until you can get home and change. So it's an easy fix. She'll be all right. It is not the disaster that it appears to be. Anyway, where did I leave off? What are y'all saying over here? um, ooh. uh, anyway, and of course, poor Kate, with all of those little nervous tics she has, she can't help it. She starts wringing her hands and checking her dainties. She don't know what to do when she don't have that clutch. When she don't have that clutch, that's why she likes to carry that clutch. It ain't nothing in it, but she needs it so her hands has something to do. Let me see. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. Okay, not out of the woods yet. Certainly not. Displaying commitment to Prince William despite shift away from where. Oh, this is when they was talking about her not wearing that ring anymore. Although she did wear the ring to the Trooping the Colors she had on the sapphire ring. The Pope, I thought he was going to be in Chicago, but he was on a closed circuit television thing, and he did mass or something from the Vatican. Here's the Pope back in 2005 at the White Sox World Series game. Who knew he would be Pope? There's a coat thief. I didn't know that India Hicks had a history of theft. That was a revelation. Her mother was the matron of honor or maid of honor, whatever, for the Queen. I think it was for her wedding, right? And then there's her granddaughter all these years later, after she had served as a matron of honor. Is that what they call it? For Diana's wedding. Maid of honor, matron, maid, coat thief. I tell you what, though, if you visit India Hicks and she says, may I take your coat? Nope. I'd rather wear it. Thanks anyway. Nah. You ain't gonna get me together. Nope. I like this coat. I would not, I don't care how hot I am, I would not discard my coat at India Hicks' house. Sorry, I'm not Harrods. I can't afford to lose my coat. May I take your coat? Certainly not. Will I see it again? No, No. Oh, bridesmaid. Thank you. Bridesmaid. You can't check. You can't take my coat. I won't let you. I had to fight you for this coat. I worked too hard. Let me see here. Okay, they were saying that Beatrice and Eugenie are secret weapons. They all secret weapons. Oh my goodness. What is that? Oh, that's Sophie. Sophie, you know what they say, there are no small parts, only small actors. Well, in this case, there are no low-ranking princesses. There are just small signs to unveil. Yes, they had her do a sign for, I think it was a bike trail. At first, I thought it was a park bench, but I think it was a bike trail. Oh, the famous Sophie tapes. That's what I was talking about. Seeing Tony Blair and William Hague together, I'm reminded of the time when Edward's wife and Tory sympathizer Sophie Wessex had to apologize to both after insulting them and Tony's wife Sherry. Sophie also described William Hague as deformed. Yeah, as looking deformed. She said William Hague looks deformed. Ooh, that's Sophie. That's the secret weapon. Got a mouth on her, doesn't she? She just says whatever she's thinking. Yeah, I'd have to keep my coat. I'm sorry, India, but you don't have the best track record. And even if you don't take my coat, I don't want you turning my pockets out and everything. So how about I just hang on to my coat? I just put it in my lap where I could see it. No. You can't help me. But yeah, that Sophie has had quite an interesting past. Gordon Brown's budget was a load of pap, or is it crap? She's said to have supported fox hunting, saying Tony Blair was ignorant of the countryside and his wife Sherry was even worse. She hates the countryside. Sherry was working as a barrister to keep her hand in case Labor lost the election, general election. She sure got a lot to say, don't she? And she's always so quiet in public. Anyway, Countess of Wessex is the royal family's secret weapon. I'll drink to that. But is she a weapon for or against them? I'd like to know. Poor Sophie Wessex. Okay, so that was the 11th, I know. Let's go to the 10th. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. We got to do 6 days. 4. So we got what, 2 more? I think it's 2 more. Let's see. Where did I leave off? There we go, the 10th. Oh, we might as well. I mean, since I brought it up, we may as well do it. Let me see. Let me find it. Okay. Well, they tried to make you believe that Meghan loses her chance to shine as LA Natural History Museum cancels Glam Gala as riots turn LA into a war zone, only to find out that it was actually postponed. Oh, those tabloids, they give me gas. This was about the dancing, more dancing. Oh, and this one right here. Now, tell me she don't look like she work in one of them houses. Remember, they had one of them houses in Texas. There was a movie, Dolly Parton even wrote a song about it. But yeah, she looked like she works in one of them houses like they have in Texas. Matter of fact, it was the best one in Texas, which is hard to believe if she worked there. But the reason why I shared this is because she was being so prudish about Meghan's video. You wouldn't know that she was so worldly. Yeah, you wouldn't know that she was so worldly in her ways. Oh, there's India Hicks, goddaughter, wipes video criticizing Meghan Markle from her website. Yeah, this is when that story first came out. She completely removed the video. And then, if I'm correct, didn't they say she also took the website away? Well, thank you for that clarity, Diane Hawkins. Thank you for clearing that up. I wasn't sure. You get a bell for that. Thank you. As a matter of fact, that was so good. I'm going to go one better. I love it. I love it. That was quite a burn there. I love it. Anyway, we talked about that again and again. Um, oh, and this is a TikToker who was outraged by what she heard. And this is when they first mentioned, don't ask about that ring anymore. It's not what you think. Oh, yes, it is. It's everything we were thinking. Poor Kate. Look at how unhappy she is. They always say Kate's going to be queen. William's going to be king. And I guess that means she's happy, huh? That means she's getting all of the love and appreciation from the man she married. As if. As if. I mean, it's bad enough she's married to William, and then she's got people staring at her hair extensions and or wig. Nothing goes right for her. But remember, Kate's going to be queen. Kate's going to be queen. That's what the Derangers say. No matter what you say about that couple, they'll say, it's making this jealous because Kate's going to be queen. Uh-huh. What else? What else? Oh, there we go. Prince William wants the world to know he's earned his statesman role. This is one of those puff pieces to stroke his ego by reminding us that he's becoming a global statesman. Let me see. Who is this guy? I forgot what he was on here for. Anyway, okay, that. Yep, we talked about that. This is what choosing joy looks like. That is the faces of joy. And one day left. That's the 10th. We just got to do the 10th and we're done, I think. So where is the 10th? Here we go. Oh, did I do that already? I guess I did. The 9th. The 9th. Yeah, we did. So it's just the 9th. Okay. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, yes, popularity surge. As you can see there, if you compare the stories about Meghan by volume or Harry, as you can see, they top the charts. They top the charts. So whatever matrix they're using to create this premise, to create this farce that the other two are so popular, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay. And what was this one? Oh, yeah. They were saying that they enjoyed the video, even though Victoria Arbiter was trying to trash them. But these two people from, oh, no, this was the Fox News. They were saying how much they enjoyed the video and how much more humanized this makes her, or human. Oh, okay. People were saying that they didn't like the Sussexes covering up the kids' faces, but that is what rich people do. That is what celebrities do, just like Mark Zuckerberg with his kids. Oh, I remember this one. Does anyone remember that New York Times article about Kensington Palace buying followers? Don't be surprised if they double their bot count soon, because of Meghan's growing personality, growing popularity. Well, if you look at this, the original article, which came out years ago, featured Will and Kate standing on those step stools as a way to demonstrate that they have they want to make themselves seem like they're more important and prestigious and bigger and all that. So I took a good look at that and I said, you know what? By the way, this explains why the New York Times article believes that they were buying bots. It's very suspicious how they just seem to stay one step ahead of the Sussexes, even though their Instagram profile was growing because Harry and Meghan initially was part of it when they first married. So they really owe most of that growth to the Sussexes. But later on, they just allegedly cheated and started buying bots to inflate their numbers because they just couldn't stand the idea that the Sussexes was outpacing them. So I didn't like that photo that they used. I said, no way, no way. So I changed it. With a little sleight of hand and using iPhoto, I decided to make the Sussexes more impressive than the other two. So I didn't like it. Okay. This was about them going to Disney World. This was a good laugh about the idea that Kate has a big work ethic. Anything but. This is me showing her lazy. Charles being confronted by Not My King, the Republic people. And, oh yeah, Antonio made this for me as a member of his channel. And that's it. That is the week. That is the week. Thank you all so much for joining us. That was our weekly Sunday roundup. I will see you all next time, which means tomorrow, or for some of you, probably later today. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one. God bless.